All right, now, respect to the family. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it. Okay, now, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into this right here. All right, all right. Let's go ahead and do this one right here. Now, something I want to go ahead and speak about, right? So, got a video I'm going to react to. I got something I want to go ahead and share. And then I got some things I got to do for the morning. I'm just trying to give a little, I've been kind of doing some morning shows for you guys, but really honestly, I've really been busy. I've been doing so much with planning, getting ready for this trip I got coming up. It's in April. I got a trip in April I'm going to. I'm getting ready for a lot of stuff, man. And so please forgive me, y'all. I'm one of those people, sometimes I put too much on my plate at once. I do. And I'm a one-man band. I don't have any support on my end. So a lot of this stuff, sometimes I may get a little overwhelmed. So y'all just bear with me, all right? Sometimes my mind does slip me, So let me go ahead and 1 second. I need to page Nancy. Nancy, hey, morning to you. All right, thank you. Nancy, could you hit the ensemble for me, please? Thank you, Nancy. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the show. Let's get to the show. Now, before we do anything, we're going to have to take a quick commercial break. You know how we do. We're going to take this real quick, brief commercial break. And then we're going to get started with the topics, because you know me, I like to ease us into the show, right? I'm going to ease us into the show, but I really want to talk about this because I believe it's something that is important, at least to me. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after these quick messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you? Oh, Jesus.
The craziest thing you're not going to believe.
What happened?
So we got a call, somebody's concerned. Are you like a hairstylist?
No. I can make some chicken strips. Sorry, my best friend, chicken strips.
I can't tell. You're
Okay.
So there's like hair hanging out of your thumb?
Oh, my Jesus.
Someone's
Oh,
like...
that's my wig. Oh, hold on. Let's talk about wig. Hold on. Oh.
You gotta come see it though.
Oh, my Jesus. I got.
You gotta see it though.
Oh, Jesus.
That's right. That was brought to you by That's My Wig. All right, people. So, I just got to ease us into this. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to talk about these topics. So I have a topic with a nice little debate with Charlemagne and Drew, as well as I'm going to react to a show that I did the other night. I want to react to that. But first, I want to start off with this right here. I want to talk about something that is important, right? So I had an interesting discussion last night, right? So late last night, I got on the Instagram. I haven't done that in a while. Got on somebody's Instagram. So I went on ahead. I hopped on. Let me turn my music down. 1 second. Let me make sure this ain't too loud. There we go. So, yeah, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. There we go. So I went on this show last night. Decent folks, man. Shout out to the peoples. And I guess the main question is men. Shit, hold on. There we go. The main question was men, right? And it's this brother. I believe his name is Producer, I believe. Shout out to him. So, he's doing work in the streets out here. He's trying to get brothers to come out and speak up more. So, the question was proposed to me, how do we get brothers to want to come out more? How do we get the men to want to come out? Now, I can tell you right now, off a rip, the number one issue that we definitely have in our community is, believe it or not, I would say the judgmental factor, or should I say prejudice factor? Yes, prejudice, not racist, prejudice, as in to prejudge. A lot of us, honestly, we kind of shut down. We get to a point where we say, F it. I don't want to try to put myself out there. I don't, or any of that. Multiple reasons. Now let's start with reason number one that I have. Reason number one that I have is because a lot of dudes, they're socially awkward. Society is not set up for communication. COVID killed all of that. It didn't just take out some people, unfortunately, condolences. It also killed the fabric of communication. I don't care what we're trying to get going and get started. If people on an everyday, regular basis do not communicate in their everyday life, they're not going to come to some event and all of a sudden be some grand star speaker. Now, they're still going to be that same awkward individual that they are right back around their own neighborhood. So the first thing that I would say is definitely we need to get more of a dynamic where people feel comfortable to talk. The other side of it is that honestly, society, it really is set up to where men don't want to. Why? Because we will tell men, hey, we know that you may be hurting. We know that you may be going through this. And you know what? There are men who are going to express themselves. And you know what? They may not exactly at that moment know right then and there how to express it in the most proper way. So you know what happens? Men will be told, hey, come on, just go ahead and express yourself. And when they do, it's usually shot back against them. It's a lot of men who learned from that and said, man, I'm just not doing that no more. I'm sick of every time I think I'm going to trust that, I'm going to just be myself. I'm going to just be me. And you know what? It's criticized. It's not critiqued. It's criticized heavily. So that will make a lot of men shut down. You see? Another thing is the classism between us. It's a lot of us nowadays. We got a false sense of identity of who's the valuable ones out here. And it's just a real thing. In society, now, mind you, everything I'm saying, I'm speaking in general. I am referring to the discussion I had, but everything I'm saying is thoughts of me and me being able to express this on my platform nice and thorough, the way I know how to do things. The classism between us. We real deal be thinking we know who the valuable ones are out here. And you know how we usually think we know it? By looking at either a financial, let's say maybe type of dress, social media status, all these other things. We overlook a lot of our own simply because they may not have the money or the numbers that you think they should to be called valuable. A lot of dudes know that they just regular degular, and guess what? Society does not push regular degular. Most people, most men and women are everyday. Most people are not this super duper high, although you should always want to reach for the stars or whatever. I don't know. You can reach for the stars. Me, I'm reaching for God's porch. So that's the level I'm on with this. But you go for what you go for. Clouds, your ceiling, I don't care. But reach up for something. Don't reach down. Right? But it's like this, though. I see it. How it's like dudes also may feel like, you know what, nah, man, because I know these type of events is going to be a bunch of people that think they too good and everything else. It's just like kind of like how some people feel about going to church. Is it, to a lot of it, is it really about going to celebrate the Lord that day? Or is it about people want to go ahead and, that's the gossip center now. There are a lot of people that use certain places in a manner in which they shouldn't. So anything that we're going to do for each other, we need to recognize that you don't never know who it is that might be in front of you. That person may not even do social media whole tea. They could be so valuable to everything that you got that you want going on. But we will overlook that person because we prejudge. We do amongst ourselves. We prejudge. We won't be knowing a person from a can of paint. We be swearing up and down, oh yeah, look at this nigga. We need to cut that out. Stop thinking you know your brother. You don't. Get to know your brother. Ask your brother questions. See where their head is at. And when you ask them with sincerity. Ask them with an open ear, with open ears. Don't be sitting there just asking, for that reason. So, that's something I'm real heavy on as well. Real heavy on. We need to cut all of that out. We need to make sure that men do feel comfortable speaking. But unfortunately, we need to understand something. Yo, this is deep rooted. I promise you now, I don't care what we're going to do. We need to know that it's going to take some work. Like, you just going to have to keep digging at this. You're going to have to keep grinding, man. Because the fact is that society is not set up for this. It's just not. Or let me say this. It is, but the way it's shifted, the way it's molded and turned, it's something else now. It's not what it used to be. Y'all give me 1 second. I got to go get my charger. 1 second. All right, my bad, y'all. I apologize dearly. I had to go get my charger and I had to open the door for the maid. I think she's going to be here shortly. So we're gonna see what we got going on. So yeah, let me get back to what I was saying before I pull these videos up, because I really do want to tap in on that, right? We got to remember also, it's going to be real difficult for men to come out because society is set up and built around men honestly not feeling as if anybody cares. I'm gonna be honest with you. The fact is that it's deep rooted. Whatever it is that we trying as men get going for men and for our communities and things of that nature, we have to understand how deep seated the stains of damage is amongst us. All of us are so damn broken and damaged, and we need to admit that. We all done been through something, right? And the fact is that society is not built around making a person feel comfortable about their problems amongst others. Why? Not because people necessarily just shun you away, primarily because the main thing we usually hear is, man, everybody got a story. You know why? Only as of late have I kind of been slowly breaking into sharing a little bit here, a little bit there with y'all, but you'll never know everything on here. The only people that would know things about me is people in my real life. If you're not in my real life, you will only get a certain amount forever in a day. Because social media is not the place for me to go ahead. There's a lot of things I'm taking to the grave. It's a lot of things that I just will never share on here because it's not the place for it. And why do I feel that way? Listen to what I just said. That's what society is built. People don't want to share stuff no more. It's used against you. You know how many times people have come to places and what it is they do, they saying, you know what? Maybe this is a safe place for me to go ahead and share what's on my mind. Maybe here I can go ahead and, get some things off my chest. And you know what happens? Later on down the line, if somebody gets upset with you, they use that against you. You might have came out and said, you know what? Yeah, I used to be a heroin addict. And I remember, man, when I felt embarrassed about it. I lost my home. You get into an argument with somebody. Yeah, that's why you were ex-dope fiend. And see, now you're throwing that back in their face. You should never do that. If it's something where we congregate and this is supposed to be, this stays right here, it should never be thrown back in the person's face because you get upset with them. That happens a lot in society. So yeah, people shut down. And then you got the ones who want to speak and they get shut down. Don't nobody want to hear from them because either the ladies don't want to have sex with them or the fellas may not look at them as somebody they would want to maybe take leadership skills from or get advice from. And it really has a lot to do with primarily image. Let you just have on it. Look, let you pull up to the event in a certain kind of car, let you have on a certain style of clothes and dress. All of a sudden, you should be top stage, front and center. But whole T, you could have not a damn thing to say for real. You just look nice. We too focused on image as opposed to what does that person consist of? Who is the essence of them? We don't focus on none of these things. We are too busy focused on image. Now, is image important? Absolutely. You should always be fresh and clean and presentable. Heck, I wouldn't want somebody be calling me a king and I don't at least try to adhere to somewhat of the standards of visual. I better have a king-like presence and aura, beard glistening, shining, glowing, smelling good, all of that. Yes, well manicured and everything else. I better be. I can't be going around knowing that people look at me a certain way and see me in a certain light and I'm just walking around here in peasant mode. I can't do that. I can't be around here in peasant mode. It's AM, not PM, so we're not on peasant mode. And speaking of AM, the time right now is 9:56 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. I thank you all so much for watching. So yeah, it's like we have so many different factors that come into play with these things. And we need to remember that. And also we gotta, I'm gonna be real with you. I do believe that the problems of men that are of today, they are the same problems of men of old. The world has never been too kind to men or male species. From lions to hyenas, young lion male cubs, it's a lot they gotta go through to get to their own pride. That's probably why it's called a pride, because you better have some pride in yourself after everything you had to endure. It ain't sweet. Don't let Lion King movie fool you now. It ain't sweet. Hyenas. Why you think it's a matriarch? Because the men in the hyena pack, they usually mauled to death or they exiled or they just like servants. We got to understand that. So my point in saying what I'm saying is, I recognize that I don't think it's ever really going to be anywhere and nothing built to where men just because I don't think it's supposed to be that way. I don't think men should get to a point where we're just super duper comfortable all the time. Do you know why? Because I believe then it will dull our senses. We won't be as protective. We won't be as alert. I do believe that life, believe it or not, I know in a weird way, I do believe that there's a possibility that life also still continuously throws our way because it's to keep us on point. Now, the thing is this, right? How much can that man handle? What's the breaking point? How long before that man knees buckle? Right? How long before that man knees buckle? I'm just curious about that part right there. Right. So that's the another thing I be peeping. I noticed it ain't a lot of that out here. It's not. It's not a lot of comfort for men because we're supposed to stay conditioned. I want you to think about the man who was, I mean, just been manicured and just everything has been so, I mean, just so comfortable. I mean, he's never had a situation where he's had to raise his voice. Nothing's ever taken place. When something happens, let's say 10 years later, that man's going to be totally disarmed. It's just like certain animals. If you take them out the wild, right? You may look at them in captivity like, yeah, that's just healthy and strong. The owner probably tell you, nah, they won't be able to make it in the wild because they were removed from it so long. They've been hand fed so long. We've just been throwing steaks out to them. You know, they've lost that how to train and hunt and track for miles. All of that is lost now. Well, I wouldn't say lost. Some things are just instinctual. They'll go right back to it. But if you get what I'm saying, there are a lot of animals in captivity, if you get my point, that you can't release back into the wild because they've been domesticated to being too docile. They're too docile to go back out into that jungle. So you got to keep them back there for their own safety. It ain't got nothing to do with an injury, broken wing, nothing. It's just they're accustomed to a certain life now. So that wouldn't be conducive. You see? So for this moment, at least, you know what I'm saying? That's what I have on this right here, right? So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into this little debate, right? So we're going to have a nice little kind of morning news-ish like segment, right? So reason why I said ish is because the talk is revolved around, you know, politics. My bad, y'all. Damn, that's loud. It's revolved around politics, so on and so forth, you know. So what we're going to do is this, right? What we're going to do is, I'm going to pull this up. Let's go right here. All right. So we're going to listen to this discussion between, hold on. Yeah, we're going to listen to this discussion between Drew and Charlemagne, right? So I like this conversation. You want to know why I like this? And even though, listen, yeah, the election's over there. This is an old discussion, but I like the back and forth because of the exchange of minds, right? I like the exchange of minds and ideas. And I like the objectiveness, but I also like to hear when people are being biased and subjective because it also gives us a further intel into what it is and how they operate and think. So let's go ahead and get to this video. I'm not even going to hold us. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and get to it.
We were talking about this on Flagrant, but there's just like no truth anymore. Like all the conservatives cannot be honest about what happened in the debate. I don't want to say all the conservatives, but like the extreme right-wing voices online cannot be honest about what happened in the debate. They just can't be, right? Like they witnessed it. We all saw it together and they're like, oh, but the moderators were fact-checking him more. And it's just like, yeah, because he was lying with more egregious, he was taking more egregious steps in the lying. Kamala lies, but with enough truth that like, you can fact check it, but it's technically maybe true, but it isn't, you know, it's not in
Trump
good
is
faith.
like they're aborting babies at 9 months.
Or
and
after.
even when the babies come, they execute the babies.
Or after.
What?
Exactly. So what she did strategically that I thought was so brilliant, because she started off bad. Right? She looked nervous. She looked uncomfortable, and
He
he
started off too scripted with the first question. She didn't even answer it. She came out the
She's
gate.
like, I was raised by a middle school
exactly.
mom.
Yeah,
Shut
yeah,
up.
yeah, that wasn't.
So, and he started out phenomenal. He was strong. He was deliberate. He was professional.
I never saw that once.
Oh no, I thought he started out. And I was like,
thought he
oh,
was weak
he's
and wrong the whole time.
No. He's listen.
What I text you, Chris? I did. What I text? I said,
But
my
this is where you-
God,
this
first
is-
round knockout.
This is where you're gonna lose everybody because I think it's important to not be biased. I think
I'm not being biased.
no, you might not be aware of it, but I think you are being biased.
I am
the
not.
unanimous-
Even from the handshake, he ran from the handshake.
No,
Schultz.
now you
Look at it.
Now, yes, this is where I actually really do appreciate. I appreciate segments like this because I love to hear when I'm hearing the exchange of this back and forth. Now, the thing about it is, it's true. You know, me, when I'm thinking about, I guess, what would be for the greater good, so on and so forth, the last thing I do believe that I want to be is bias, right? Why? Well, primarily because that won't be beneficial at all. It's not going to be beneficial to the long run. What it is that really, like, whatever you want to accomplish, if everything that you're thinking about is about you in particular and how you feel about the circumstance alone, that could really put a damper on what the ultimate outcome can be, is what I'm saying. Because you put your feelings before what's I guess what would be more beneficial. There we go. Think about what's overall more beneficial as opposed to how you feel and what you particularly want. And a lot of people vote based on what they, well, I know we all vote on that. So let me not word it that way. But voting on based strictly in, let's say, an identity, voting based strictly on because I just don't like the other person, we don't know what the outcome could be, because, you know, you may deny the demon and get the devil. Let's keep going.
You paid.
He didn't want to shake her hand.
You paid.
By the way,
You
they said that was the first time there was a handshake. They
paid.
said that was the first time there was a handshake at like three different debates.
You're paid by the Democrats. You paid.
Say what you want.
You paid.
Look.
You paid. You paid.
That looks strong to you?
You paid. The point that I'm trying to make is, if we're being objective, Trump starts out great. He starts out strong.
Never. Where? Tell me what he said strong.
Like, he starts out calm and he's on point for the things he wants to say.
Okay, I agree with what Alex says.
I'm with that.
Now, right there, again, you know, I gave the example about like LeBron or whatever. I can't stand him. But if I'm watching a game of him and he played an awesome game, I can't sit there just because I don't like who LeBron is. Like, you know, he's wild to me. But I mean, I respect him, you know, the school he's built and everything else. Just, he's not my kind of dude, you know, that I would chill with like that. So would I play basketball with him? Heck yeah. Matter of fact, I pick him first. That don't have nothing to do with anything. I will still pick LeBron first. If I had to pick, I'm probably going to go with Bron, and I'm going to go down the line of all the other stars. I'm having Bron on my team because I know the value that he brings in that category, that area of life. Now, if I'm going to a debate, I'm not picking LeBron to be on my side as like my wingman. No. No. You see? Although I don't debate. But with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's get back to it. What time I got? Yeah, I'm good. Let's just rock out until everything goes down. Let's go.
100%.
Right. Okay.
Everything. He's not defensive. He's not emotionally volatile. He is not backpedaling at all. He is moving forward. He is driving. He's in the driver's seat. He has strength and he has confidence. He feels confident and with self-esteem.
Jesus Christ.
Wait for it. Kamala goes, I want to invite you all to one of Trump's rallies.
Before that.
Wait for it.
No, before that.
Let me just
Okay.
get my point
Okay.
out, and then you tell me yours. I want you to invite to his rallies where there are people that are walking out, they are leaving. Trump melts after that.
Melts.
Within 30 seconds of that, he goes, they're eating dogs in Springfield, Ohio. And from the rest of
I remember that. Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. But it's wild because, you know, You know, that whole thing with that was a kind of back and forth. There were a lot of people saying, nah, this really was happening. Now, you know, I'm fully aware there are, you know, paid people and stuff. Hey, look, you know, just, you know, don't nobody know who you are, anonymous face, you know what I'm saying? And spew this story, say this and say that. That happens. I do recognize that. So that right there was tough. That was a tough one for me because I heard about the people from Venezuela. They were stealing people cats and all of that. They were saying, he said they was eating cats. So apparently, you know, the carryout got loose. So let's go ahead and get back to this. Let's see what we got because this was pretty dope.
Of the debate, he is on defense, fighting for his life,
For his fucking
trying to
life.
stay above water. He cannot be confident. He cannot. And the reason I brought up the confidence, he is feeling insecure. The imposter syndrome is kicking in. He's feeling like he's not taken seriously, and then he falls back to this boorish technique that I think Americans are just over by now. It's just like the world is falling apart and everything is going to destroy. America sucks. They made America the worst country in the world.
Yeah, I don't see again, and this is why I'm so careful. This is why I always say, now, I'm not saying don't vote. I'm not saying don't be into politics. You be into what you're into. We need people in these things because if not, it will shut down. That shut down where, you know, it's not good. Being able to decipher what you're hearing. Man, it's going to be so many times we're going to hear people tell us things. Did they leave something out? Did they add something? In politics, you better always know, I don't care which side of the aisle it is, it's always going to be something added or left out. They're either going to really, really exacerbate what it is, or they're not going to tell you enough of what you need to know. So we're always left in this like kind of gray area when it comes to the politics. Although people say they're either red or blue, no, most people are left in a gray area at the end of the day. Let's keep going.
And I was telling him on flagrant, like, you can only tell me my country is trash like a few times before I start going, yo, watch your fucking mouth, yo. Watch your fucking.
Yeah, I can't front. Like, now, there are people who have different views on that, right? Now, you know what I noticed? And this is the truth. I'm not saying in all cases, but usually when I hear people talk so much about how horrible this place is and everything, it's usually the people who come here, benefit from here, but they're from somewhere else. Yeah, that's right. They usually are the ones, like, it's, you know, usually speaking. Now, we also have a bunch of our own who have been, I guess you can say, indoctrinated. A lot of this stuff definitely comes from universities and so on and so forth. A lot of us know this, you know. I'm not heavy into the politics, but I do know some of the baselines. I used to keep up with a couple of these Daily Wire and all of that. I used to keep up with some of this stuff. I used to keep up with it, just politics, period, just seeing what was going on, right? And that's the main thing that really turned me off from it. It just turned me off from it because it's like, yo, one, first and foremost, I don't know why we keep getting trick bagged with the voting. I'm not saying don't vote, but what I'm saying is, when are we going to change what we demand? And when are we going to change how we go about getting what we demand? Obviously, what we're doing is not working. Why? Because election in, election out, we still complain about the same So all I'm saying is, at what point do we stop hitting our head on that brick wall and be like, you know what? Let me try to go around. Or, ooh, let me check and see if it's a door. Maybe if I just walk around and look, maybe there's a knob somewhere and I can turn that and just go right on inside. So that's my whole thing. I'm not real big on keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And then I keep complaining as if that was my first time doing it. Like, that isn't the millionth time that I've done that. That's the part that gets me. Let's go ahead and get back to it. I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 10:11 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. I thank you all so much for tuning in. Shout out to everybody on the Instagram side. I appreciate y'all, man. Salute, salute. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate everybody. All right, let's get back to the video.
Back away from your MAGA patriot leader. Don't you dare.
I hate
you.
that.
Don't you dare.
I hate that.
I mean,
He's the
you
guy.
that's
You
too, so
can't
you
say
can do
you hate. He was the biggest patriot a month ago, standing up with his fist in the air, flag behind him. You can't tell him he hates the country now.
I hate this. I hate this. This is why I hate this. This is why. You know what?
Politics is not about hating the country or not. That's what people missing. It's not about hating the country or liking it. It's a business. The land is one big business. Who runs the business? The politicians. Who works for the business? The tax-paying citizens. It's that simple. Let's go.
Because he doesn't hate the country.
One second. We're going to get back to it. Here we go. Let's do it.
You think he hates the country?
No, Charlamagne, what I'm trying to say is like the rhetoric is exhausting. This has been the exhausting thing about the rhetoric towards Trump is exhausting too. They're both exhausting. It's exhausting hearing you every.
It is. I don't know if y'all notice or not, but like that's why, like honestly, like why I don't watch a lot, because I get tired of hearing this. You do, man. It's like, how many times you gotta tell me he's the devil, worst man in the world, grab him by the pee. Look, all right, bet we all heard it. Okay, now what? But we just keep on. It's like, God, jeez Louise, man. All right, I heard you, man. I know. Yeah. That was real messed up. He was saying that he cut that bill. Yeah, okay, cool. Is there anything different that's happening now that hasn't happened before when it comes to politics? So you telling me throughout the history of politics, there ain't never been an election where one side or the other, and then when people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person is in office, the world is coming to an end. You know, people said the same thing when Little Bush was in office. He's going around saying terror. W-O-D. I don't know if I could say it. You know, W-O-D if anybody gets it. Right? Everybody was really upset. Okay, all right, that passed. Guess what? I want to ask you from Little Bush, right? Bush Jr. to right now. Did we stop complaining? It's just a question for you to think about. Okay? So only thing I'm saying is I want you to think about everything that people been asking for from back then, Little Bush, till now. Now, the earliest president I remember when I was born was Bush Sr. He was the president when I was like 82. And then I remember, you know, Clinton, then his son. Okay, cool beans. What has been answered to? Last time I checked, we still asking for reparations. So I'm trying to figure out. Now, mind you, throughout them years, we've had red, we've had blue. We've had red, we've had blue, red. We've had all of that, right? Okay, Beth. So we've had multiple people on both sides, but we still complain about the exact same thing. Am I the only one that's sitting here like, I don't know, something don't seem to be right here? Am I the only one? I don't get this. I want you to think about every time we vote. And I want you to think about every year what is talked about and complained about. Is it not the same thing? So all I'm saying is if we know, no matter if it's red or blue, listen, I'm not determined. Listen, whoever you stick with. You listen to this is an independent right here. My vote goes for what is beneficial to the community and country. Period. If you're the sufficient leader for the country, I don't give a damn if you blood or crip. I don't care. Because see, I'm past all of this like choosing a side, because the fact is people can keep on choosing a side, and guess what? Them same politicians that y'all going back and forth about, you think Trump and Biden ain't been to balls and gatherings together? I want you to think about this right now, people. They got us fighting. They got us going back and forth. I'm talking about real deal, like people getting chemicals thrown on them, people being set on fire, shot, cars being ran through whole rallies. People are real deal in real time losing their life, going back and forth about a red or a blue. And then at the end of those debates, they all go sit down at a long ass table at a banquet and laugh. And oh my God, do you know what that part that you, yeah, that's what they do. They all sit down together. They don't beef in real life. They go play golf. You're Republican, or conservative, whatever word y'all want to use, Democrat, liberal, I don't care. Red and blue. You know, after they're done doing everything that got all of us at odds, you know, they go sit down and have lunch together with each other, wives and shit. You know they kids hang out? You know that, right? You know their kids hang out. They're not separate. They made us separate. We the ones that's divided. We the ones going at each other's throat while they laughing it up at the most finest of banquets with the most expensive of hand-rolled cigars. Doors being opened, literally. How you doing, Mr. Such and Such? Hey, Mr. Such and Such. All right, good to see. Oh, thank you for the tip, sir. And here it is. We back at home, and we don't even want to talk to our own cousin no more because of how they voted. We don't want to talk to our best friend no more because of how they voted. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Salute, salute. What's going on? Y'all make sure y'all go over there and check out JD 1975. Check them out. That's definitely the Detroit OG, and I appreciate you for stopping through, sir. So yeah, like this right here, I don't like the way they be having us at odds, man. But let's get back to the video.
Every week, he's the end of democracy. He's the end of democracy. Democracy's gonna fail.
Don't try to switch it up now. Listen,
it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Don't try to switch it up now. Welcome to the club. I'm glad.
Now watch this, people. Watch this. You know what's so sad? We are so. Watch how indoctrinated a lot of us are, and I'm going to say it out loud because I know it's true. If there's anything ever that I say that might agree with Andrew or anything he says that's not demonizing Trump, I guarantee you that people are going to look like, yep, he's a Trump supporter. No, I'm not, because I didn't vote for his ass. Not the first time, not this time. Try that again. I never voted for him. Never voted for a Republican. The only times I have voted, it was blue. For the record, I voted for Clinton, I voted for Gore, I voted for Kennedy, and I voted for Obama. Anytime I've ever voted, that is how I voted. Why? Because that's what my family, my dad, he kind of coached me. Hey, look, when you go in the booth, type this in. I just was doing what dad said. I didn't know too much about it. Obama, that was my choice. I did want to see that. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it. I was interested like the rest of the world. But not real talk, though. Look how indoctrinated we are. If you even say, now mind you, people won't even listen and be like, you know what? No, he's agreeing with the logic of what's being said. Matter of fact, let me help you out, just in case people forgot. Where's my banner? Where's my banner? Where's it at? Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Here we go. That's a banner of mine for a reason. So what it is that I agree with is what logic is. And guess what it says at the bottom? Hashtag logic only. If it don't make sense, it can't make dollars. You need 4 quarters to make $1. You need 100 pennies. You need 20 nickels. You need 10 dimes. 2 50-cent pieces. But you need coins to make $1. So if it don't make sense, it can't make dollars. And if it don't make dollars, I don't want nothing to do with it because it's not beneficial. You see how I just went with that? Salute to the family. Respect to you. Salute. So yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to it.
Finally realizes Donald Trump's rhetoric is old and tired. By the way, the confidence been gone since he got shot at. I've been telling y'all that for 3 weeks.
No, Charlemagne. Everybody's rhetoric is old and tired. All that Kamala was saying, all that stuff Biden was, all of y'all. A lot of us are sick of all of y'all in that area of life. Every last one of y'all get on our last nerve. To some of us, now I understand you gotta stand for something. You can't just be out here not voting, Smitty. Well, guess what? I'm gonna say it like I always said it. They told me. I'm continuously told by my hip-hop celebrities out in the world, the entertainers of the world, the politicians of the world, even my next door neighbors and people in my community. I'm continuously told my vote is so important. Well, you know how I like to treat things that are important. I treat them with care. If it's important, just treat it with care. It's not just dropped off anywhere. I don't just drop off anywhere things that are important. Nope. So, what do? I guard that. So when you tell me my vote is important, and if you put 2 people in there that I don't feel is good enough for my vote, I'm going to withhold it until you get somebody in there that is. Do y'all realize that we didn't even have to have Trump in office? Do y'all not know that? Did you listen? What do you think will happen if like a good percentage, I don't know, get 70, 80%, I know it wouldn't be 100, but like a good, over 50%, if over 50% of the country said, we're not going, and they notice how short the lines are, because they know what the numbers, how it usually looks, record-breaking turnouts and all of that. And if they notice it's like cut down in half or more, and if they continuously see post after post, I'm talking about from regular people to celebrity, everybody, just post after post of people saying, we're not voting until you get somebody who we feel is qualified to be in office. I guarantee you they will go find old Joe Smo out of somewhere in a dark closet. I promise you, they will pop up with people. Demand it. Now, if we take it to a business sense, politics is business, right? Right? Isn't politics business? Yeah, it is, right? Okay, cool. Politics is business. The last time I checked, one of the number one slogans with business, what's the number one slogan with business? Supply and what? Demand. Demand, supply what we demand. So if you demand better candidates, they will supply it. We don't demand it. I think everybody just be so overwhelmed with it that we just want to get through it and get it over with. Or a lot of times people just so pressed to get who's in office now that we don't care and we just kind of rush into it. But imagine, I just want you to think about that. I've thought about it before. I know look, I'm very realistic now. But like, if that was to happen, yeah. Business has done that. Y'all remember the Budweiser incident? With on the can, and people stopped buying Budweiser, I think, for only a week or two. Man, them people, matter of fact, I think it was less than that. Because, businesses can lose millions within like just a day or two of no sales. Just a day or two of no sales, that's millions cost. Because the company still has to run and the workers still got to get paid. So that money has to continuously keep flowing in. 2-3 days of everybody working, the drivers, everybody. Warehouse workers, the phone operators, and everything in between. They still got to get paid. So that's a lot to go out the window just by withholding your dollars, your vote. Don't show up. Don't support it. But look, am I saying something that we've heard before? Of course. I'm not, this isn't anything new that I'm saying right now, but that's how I do see that. But let's keep going.
3 weeks.
Which is reasonable.
I've been telling y'all that for 3 weeks. He looks like he doesn't want to do it no more.
It's such a shame.
What y'all saw last night, I'm like, I saw this for the past month or two.
I never pushed back on you when you said that. I thought that was good. What I'm doing is right now, I've been someone who is very enticed by Trump. I like the idea that he's not the establishment candidate. I'm kind of annoyed with the establishment. I think if you don't exactly like what's happening in America now, you can't continue to elect the establishment people, because then you're going to get the same thing that's been
I'm gonna just sit here with my face like this while he finished.
happening that you don't like. Usually the system is you have a Kamala or you have a Bush, you have a Clinton or you have a Bush, you have an Obama, you have a Bush.
And who was the one president that I named when I was like that? Didn't I said it. I didn't say yep, I said Bush. Like real talk. Like why do the American citizens, why do we as the people keep doing the same thing and keep complaining the same way? You know what I've come to the conclusion of? You people like to complain. That's your get off. That's getting your rocks off. Having a good old fashioned, hey, let's all get together and be mad about some Y'all love that.
You have two people that are going to make sure that the big corporations get their pound of flesh. Trump comes in and then he throws a wrinkle in the system. The corporations go, I don't know if I'm going to get my pound of flesh. Now, it could be that Trump is like, I would love to give you your pound of flesh. Just elect me. I'll give you all the pound of flesh. That could be the case. But they're like, I'm not taking that risk. I want us to put that girl in who's.
Why couldn't be like, I don't know, a pound of gold? Why does it have to be a pound of flesh? Like what kind of example Put the drink down.
Definitely going to give it, or Biden, who's definitely going to give it, or any of these past people who are definitely going to give it. So I'm enticed by this person who's an outsider who might change certain things in the country that I would like to be changed. That being said, I can acknowledge if he gets dog walk in a debate.
He got
dog walk.
And that's why I said when y'all talk about the confidence and the self-esteem,
But see, the thing is that I'm not surprised. Now, this is the one thing people got to understand about Trump. Trump is the type of person, as much as you may not like him, all right, business-wise, he does business. Politics is a business. He was able to get into politics not because he's a politician, because he's a businessman. But at the same time, from what we all know, he's not really well liked even around his fellow billionaires and stuff, right? So believe me, people don't like him, period. I'm fully aware of that. I don't care for the guy either. I don't invest enough emotion into him to say I don't like him. That's why you don't hear me going off and ranting about it. I don't have the emotion there for him. I have to save that for real life. I don't have all the emotion for what he's on. Call that. So I reserve my right to peace. I'm not disturbing my peace to get upset about something he said on the news. So yeah, let's keep going. I see that part.
I haven't seen Trump have confidence and self-esteem in 2 months. From the beginning, when she walked out and walked him down for the handshake, because they said it last night. I forgot what the number was, but he hasn't shaken hands in a debate in like the last 3 or 4
Y'all give
debates.
Kamala all this credit for like doing the littlest shit. It's amazing.
Because it's the little.
She put her left foot in front of her right foot and walked straight.
Because
Did you see that? She shook hands with her debate opponent.
Listen, you're a comedian, right?
Yeah.
And you know how much stage presence matters. You know what Kamala beat Trump at last night?
That is very true. Very, very true. As a chef, you know what the most important part about your plate that you give to the customer? We all know. Presentation. How that plate is designed, dressed, and looks. The stuff falling all off the side, is it overstuffed? Is it not proportioned in the middle of the plate? Is the plate too small for what it is that you're using? Should you have used an oval plate as opposed to a round plate? Should you have used a bowl plate as opposed to a flat plate? What should you have used for this dish in particular? Because that's why there's so many different shapes of dishes and sizes, because not all meals go on them. I know I just went down there, but that's just me.
In the TV world, because all that shit matters. Trump usually wins that battle.
Well,
Trump usually wins any battle in front of a camera.
I'll tell you why.
Because he's entertaining. He doesn't win on the basis and premises of he just said the most dopest, whenever has Trump said something that was really profound, like you was like, damn, I ain't gonna lie, that was deep. Like really, has he ever gotten up on stage and you hear him and he's talking and he's like, things are going really good because I said they're going really good because I'm handling it. You know what? Fire, man. Gems, man. No, everybody knows when he gets on stage, he's one of those people. He's like a JP. He's like people in these spaces where you know they're going to say something outrageous. We know this. I'm not shocked when I hear something out of this world that he says. I don't know why people still are. Haven't you heard the man talk long enough? Didn't we hear things he said long before he was even into politics, back when he was just Trump featuring on shows and everything else? I remember when he went to WWF. Yeah, not WWE, because that's how long ago it was. He was there when I think it was WWF. Oh, maybe it was WW. Maybe that was the beginning of that. Maybe. I don't know.
Without the audience, this is my suspicion on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Chris could probably speak to this much. Trump, as famous and successful as he's been, has not really been taken seriously.
Oh, that's a fact.
He's kind of been like,
I got billionaire homies in New York who told me that years ago.
Now that's great.
That's a fact.
That's great that you brought that up. He's never really been in.
Never.
And
Nope.
he knows.
Always been a joke to them.
Yes.
Yep.
But he knows, but he wants to be in, desperately wants to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And he is incredibly entertaining to people. There's no question, you can't question it. So he justifies his position in the world through the numbers, the amount of people who watch his shows, the billions of dollars, he'll keep telling you, multiple billions of dollars, all the actual buildings that he's erected. Those are the justifications. But deep down, there's a little part of him that feels like he's not accepted by his contemporaries.
That's a fact.
Okay. when she said the people are walking out of the rallies, that imposter syndrome kicked up big, and the emotional volatility came after that. He's like, wait a minute, are people going to know it's the was it the king's clothing or whatever?
What I would say that's very dangerous about Trump personally is him not being emotionally intact. I do believe that Trump is more than likely possibly going to respond on a not really thought well out basis. But one thing I can say, hopefully, because it's not just him, he has a whole cabinet, a team, the whole nine. Hopefully it's at least some people around him that can think a lot better so we don't blow some or ourselves up, you know. So let's keep going.
Whatever that
The emperor wears no clothes.
The emperor wears no clothes. It's like, are people going to think that? Are people going to know that this is a facade?
But he knows.
But here's the thing. Regardless of if he thinks that he's an imposter or not, he's made a company that made billions of fucking dollars. He became president of the United States. He's accomplished more than most humans will ever accomplish in history.
Still didn't get the respect.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a little thing in his head going, hey, am I not taken seriously? When she said that, I think it tapped into that. Now, here's the thing. When he has a live audience, okay, he can charm and entertain that audience.
Family proof your family.
Yeah, so while we getting through that, that's absolutely facts that he was saying that on that part, because it's real, it's different, man. Listen, politics and how things, because of how society is shifted and molded, although it's still politics, and politics have shifted and molded into what society, which it should, but society has not been shifting in a good direction. So guess what? The politics that we've always looked at as corrupt is even more corrupt. Why do you think we got so many? Like, I've never in the history of mayorism heard so many different counties and states or whatever that got horrible mayors, all the way down to the mayors. Because we always say this, right? When it comes to vote, what's the most important vote? The national stage vote or what? Local legislation, right? Your councilmen, sheriffs, mayors, all of that, right? Head lawyers and all of these things. So, and I've noticed it's been a huge increase of corruption with that. So when society gets even worse, yeah, guess what? Those same people who are politicians are in the same society, or maybe not the same way, but they're in the same, they're walking the same earth we are. Believe it or not. Let's go. That was perfect. Exactly what he said. Emotionally, like he's not too level. My bad. I had to fix this cushion. He's not too level when it comes to when he gets upset. That's not good for, I'm talking about not when you're the leader of a whole entire country. I mean, you're running a business, whatever, but the entire country, and you don't know how to keep your emotions intact. Not cool, my G. Not good at all. Let's keep going. Oh shit. Oh shoot. I'm so sorry, y'all. Damn, man. I'm damn. Because I can hear it over here. I forgot I didn't pull the video up, man. I'm sorry. I'm not even paying attention.
And make him feel good and make him feel loved and uplift him and quiet that little voice of insecurity in his head. He starts to melt. and she found the thing to say, and he could not emotionally recover from that.
Is that why he went on his podcast tour past month to learn how to entertain in front of an audience?
Without the audience. You're saying without the audience.
Without an audience,
Yeah, without the audience. Maybe. I mean, I just think that podcasting is just where the people are now.
That too.
But I genuinely think, yeah. So that was the argument that I was trying to make. Yeah.
Play the clip, because it was. You're right about the line she said about the.
But you said there was something
rally.
before.
It was right, but it was a bar right before.
What she said?
First of all, every trap she laid for Trump, he fell for. That's why I'm telling you, the handshake. One of the most important things Kamala did last night was everything she did off camera. When she walked up to him and went after him for the handshake. Like, he kept going and tried to go find his podium. She was like, no. What's up? Kamala Harris, let's have a nice debate. Wow, right? That frazzled him a little bit. I know it did, because he was like, oh, she not.
Listen, I know Charlamagne's trying to get on Trump, but me listening to that, that's scary. So you telling me the person that runs this entire country that I reside in runs from handshakes from women? See, what I'm saying is how things are presented and worded. He's the leader of this whole country. And what you're saying right now with somebody with an enormous amount of platform to you, that the person who runs the country I live in runs from handshakes from women? For real? And y'all wonder why I ain't want to give none of these people my vote. I mean, come on. I'm gonna go and I'm about to waste my time for that. For what? For what? And then when everything burns and goes hell, at least I can say, yep, I ain't contribute to that. I stayed out of it.
Not scared of me in any way, shape, or form. And every time they had the cameras on her when he was talking and she wasn't, it was beautiful. Yep. She's like, he's lying. He's lying. He's like shaking his head no. Meanwhile, go back to Biden.
Yeah.
She was engaged. It was like offense, defense. She was engaged on both sides of the ball.
Biden is like 102. What do you expect? Of course he will. Everybody knows that.
Every single time. Play the clip right before she talks about the rallies. It's the same piece, but is it this one? She said right before that, you're going to hear this guy lie tonight, unprompted, about basically her stance on immigration. Mm. That's what said it. Mm. And then she goes, but let me tell you this. And then she went into the rally thing.
And I'll tell you something. He's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual. And I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first. And I pledge to you that I will.
So it was a two-piece that he got hit with, because he was like, oh shit, that is part of my motherfucking game plan. To come in here and, just keep bringing up her record on the border for no reason.
That's every politician's game plan. Find that kink in your opponent's armor and keep attacking it. Everybody keep trying to go on Obama about the job crash. They kept attacking that. People kept going on Clinton for his scandal against his wife. They just kept attacking that. Oh yeah, you really want a president that sleeps around with whores? That's the game of politics. So again, when I'm hearing certain things, there's some things I'm like, okay, bet. All right, I'm with you. Because, some people in America still listen, because not all of us have induced our brains to be brainwashed. I'm them waves. You ever seen like a show, like a cartoon or something? And it's that episode where it's like the mad scientist wants to take over the whole town. So everybody's under this spell and their eyes are all swirly. But then like the 2 or 3 main characters, they're the only ones somehow that wasn't affected. So they're going around trying to save everybody from being infected by the swirly eye. You know what I'm referring to. That's how I feel in this world right now. I feel like I'm around a bunch of people who's under a spell, and somehow or another, I was protected. I don't know if it's the hat covering my ears, I don't know, but it was something that protected my mind from being indoctrinated into fear. So now, once you get everybody on your side scared of the other side, tactic. Think about it.
He had already started the game.
Yes!
Yep.
And she shut that shit down immediately from the
Eminem
gate.
8 Mile.
And it was an Eminem and 8 Mile.
Yep.
Not really, because she's not taking the power out of his hands by saying, "Yeah, I'm bad at the border."
But took away a lot of his arsenal by saying, "Look, this is what he's gonna say."
She's gonna say, he's gonna say lies about my record. Yeah,
She knew that with the border, there's only one hit she could deliver because it's the actual hit. The actual hit is Republicans and Democrats created a bipartisan bill, and Donald Trump shot it down because he didn't want the Biden administration to get any credit for doing anything at the border. She knew she could only deliver that once. So if he was going to just keep bringing it up over and over and over, you fucking deflate that by setting the table early to let everybody know this is what he's going to do. And guess what he did? He ended up staying away from it. He didn't go at it. He ended up staying away from it.
She completely outclassed him in every single way, but most importantly, out-strategized him in the debate. I can say that
Now, let's think about it. Honestly, I don't think that's too hard to do. She got a team behind her too. Trust me, she got teleprompter. Oh yeah, she got people writing her script when she was talking about the Hobbit and all. Oh yeah, that somebody wrote that for her. She got her little script writers. My point is that yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see how that is the case and how that's true. But let's keep on going.
Effectively, as someone who's not a Kamala supporter.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't really heard much from her policy-wise that I'm like, I really like this. I think this is great, and I want to support this.
You don't support rebuilding the middle class?
They've been rebuilding the middle class for the last 40 years. Does it feel...
Didn't I say that? Mind you, I'm 42. I said I remember being a kid, and it was Big Bush in office, Clinton, Little Bush, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And I'm asking the same thing. Like, everything that we hear, don't we keep hearing it? My whole point is, people, either we need to go ahead and do something to get the politicians to act right, or more of us need to start getting into politics. Start getting your kids into politics. Raise them to be the better politicians. Something has to give. Because what I know is that we just keep on talking and complaining about the exact same thing 24/7. And after a while, it just gets old. It's like, all right, bet. Okay, so you're going to keep, like me, if you a friend like you just always only have problems, what usually happens when we ring people's phones? Yeah, usually after a while, they stop answering. Why they stop answering? Because they don't want to keep hearing that shit. Don't we do that with our friends and family? People like, look, man, I love you, but like, man, look, man, you gotta stop calling me with all this bad news all the time. Yes? How are you? Can you get in? 1 second, please. So what we have is, when I tell you, it is absolutely crazy how people would keep thinking, you know what? Maybe this time when I run into the wall, it won't hurt as much. No, it's going to hurt even worse because it's already an open wound there. Stop running into the wall.
Rebuild, yeah. This is what they say every single election cycle, right?
Like, but I don't know what the middle class is anymore.
There you go.
I think we might be middle class.
We might be.
I'm not even joking.
No, we might be.
I'm not even joking. I think we might be middle class.
Y'all not middle class. Right?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not joking, yo. I was looking at this chart the other day, and that shit.
He's not middle class.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm not. I'm really.
You know how many people
sure,
you pissing off right now?
I'm just
the
telling
whole
you
middle class.
I'm not sure. I was looking at.
And that's the thing. Who cares about that part? The fact is that people like to be pissed off. I think nowadays people will actually be upset if you stop making them upset. you know what? If you stop giving people a reason to be upset, they will be upset that you're not making them mad. It's something about we just got to do that. But let's keep going.
Just chart the other day. You saw that chart that Duval posted?
Nah.
We might be middle class, yo.
But okay, you're not. I know that for a fact. The rest of us might be, but you're not. For sure.
Hey, you're lying. You're lying right now. You're telling the people that there's dogs being eaten in Ohio. Okay, I've been to your shows. All right.
You don't think there's one dog being eaten in Ohio? Like, what an absurd thing to say that not a singular dog is being eaten. Of course, somebody's crazy and eating a fucking dog. It might not be the migrants, but
listen,
somebody's gonna eat a dog.
I would give, if Donald Trump had did anything good last night, I would give him his props. I've done it before. There was nothing good last night. And and you said something about the right-wing pundits on social media. Pleasantly surprised that Fox News last night was giving it up.
I think even Elon was like, he'll do better next time or something like that.
There's not going to be no next time.
Well,
I don't think he would debate her again. Especially after his rhetoric today saying, "Hey, she only wants to rematch because I beat her." The polls are saying I beat her 92-8. What polls are saying that?
So here's a perfect example. If you are a Republican and you actually care about your party,
talk that talk.
If you say that he did a good job in the debate, he will not change anything in the future. And the reality is, even though you might be, proud of his performance or whatever he said, somebody in the middle, and I can speak on behalf of someone in the middle and a bunch of my friends that are also in the middle, all felt unanimously that he got destroyed by Kamala. So you have to take that into account. If you are right wing and you think he did a good job, you're already voting for him. That's not going to change anything. Those people in the middle thought he did not do a good job. You need to hold him accountable if he has a chance of winning another debate. And in my personal opinion, he needs to have another one in order to convince those people in the middle, because that was not.
No, first, before he has another debate, he needs to have thorough, like, I be wondering, you would think if somebody is wealthy, but I guess money can't change you, I guess. Or not. What am I trying to say? You would think with all the money he has that he would have a much better team to prep him before going on. Is what I'm saying. You would think. It's crazy.
Here's the thing, shows. Here's the thing. And this is what all conservatives, all MAGA supporters need to just understand. You bet on the wrong horse. You ran the wrong horse. Nikki Haley said it the best when she said the first party to get rid of their 80-year-old candidate was probably going to win this fucking election. There is no way in hell in 2024 Donald Trump, with all the baggage he has, just put all the baggage he has, should be running. The oldest candidate ever with all that baggage, talking so incoherent. Let's be honest.
Fun fact. Little Bush caught a felony, I believe, while in the military. Something about some powdery substance. He caught a felony and became a president. It's happened before. Look it up for yourself. I don't know the details, but I could have sworn it was something about him, military, airplane, white powdery stuff, got caught, swept under the rug, became president later.
He sounds retarded. Let's just old school R word.
No.
He sounds retarded.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
See, this is
Nikki Haley.
This is where you lose
Christie. I'm just telling you the truth.
No,
Nikki
it's what
Haley,
you
Chris
think.
Christie would be better candidates than Donald Trump.
But they didn't get there.
But they should have did what the Democrats.
And I agree on both sides. I when I was looking at the lineup on both sides, I really was like, this is sad. Are you serious? This is the best that America can do when it comes to leadership for people. Wow. I've been saying that.
That's did. And realize, hey, and this is where you got to give Democrats props. I call Democrats cowards, been calling them cowards, but this is where you got to give them props. They weren't delusional about their candidate after a while. They were delusional for a long time. But once they got to that debate and they realized, like, holy shit, this guy really don't have it no more. We got to get rid of him. That's what Republicans should be thinking right now. They might be too late. I don't know. We've seen stranger things happen in America.
I don't think there's that much of an outpour of people saying, nah, he's too old. He needs to stop.
Well, that's because people are
But you're also
Well, Biden,
suggesting
they were,
them
though.
to pull a coup just like the Democrats did.
Oh God.
And that's not and that's not democracy. That's not the system.
All right. It wasn't a coup. But my point is, that's the wrong candidate. You like what you saw yesterday? We just had a first week 1 of football. There's a lot of quarterbacks we're looking at. We're like, that person don't have it no more. They need to be pulled.
Have I not spoken very clearly about how I affect? You just asked me, do I like what I saw yesterday? I thought that I've spoken like very
But
clearly.
you want to put them back out there for week 2.
It's not whether I want to put them back out there. The American people want him to be there. That is the reality of the matter. He has the support of the American people. He has more support.
Is it or is it not true? Because the fact is it not based on votes? So if it's based on votes of who? The American people, right? Then who wants them there? Let's go.
Let's look up the poll. Because there was 70% of people who didn't want a Biden-Trump rematch. So Biden's gone.
What I'm saying is within the Republican Party, they primary. He won the primary.
Yeah.
So the American people have chosen it. It's not whether I like him. It's not whether the party likes him. I understand that Democrats will rig the primaries. The Republicans...
Kamala won the primary.
Exactly. So the Republicans will not rig the primaries in the way that the Democrats. So they stole it from Bernie. They removed Biden effectively, and they'll put in their candidate. The Republicans don't do that. The benefit of that is you get the people's choice. The negative of that,
the people's choice might be wrong. And if the people's choice is wrong, and you think you're going to lose in November, then you do what the fucking Democrats did. Real patriots, New England, baby, deflate gates, cheat, motherfuckers. If you're not,
But when does that not happen in politics in some form or fashion? All the way down to cheating citizens out of certain amounts of funds and resources. Again, I'm not here to put a damper. I'm just here to speak on the things that we all know, but why do we ignore it? That's all I just want to know. Why do y'all keep ignoring what is blatantly in your face unless you want it to happen? Let's go.
I've been waiting for my Dallas Cowboys to cheat for 20 plus years. I don't give a fuck if they cheated or not. I really, truly don't care. Okay? Run the best candidate, because guess what? The American people deserve better. Play the clip from Fox News. I thought this was great because by the way, I watch all the news networks for this exact reason, and I was pleasantly surprised at what Fox News did last night. I was like, oh, okay.
Vice President Harris was clearly well prepared, practiced on the offensive much of the night. Former President Trump did take a lot of the bait that she threw out.
Make no mistake about it, Trump had a bad night. He rose to the bait repeatedly when she baited him, something I'm sure his advisors had begged him not to do. And we heard so many of the old.
And that's what I'm saying. You hear that? He leads the country. Now, listen, that's a debate. I want you to think if it's something really, truly serious and the advisors saying, don't, Mr. President. And he's like, I'm pushing the button. Boom. Like, come on, man. Like that. See, that's why that's scary. So when a lot of people, oh yeah, Trump this, Trump that, bump all that. I'm not rocking no hats, no none of that. I wear this on my head now, my beanie. But nah, not. Because I don't want no parts of this. I don't want to say I had a hand in whatever destruction is going down. But I will have a helping hand in helping y'all clean up this daggone mess, because it's my mess as well. But I just wish we had more prevention than the cure. We love to cure some stuff, but we don't want to prevent it. But you know how I look at politics, speaking of prevention and cure? I look at it just like the FDA. Most medicines, like I want you to think about it, most things that people get or whatever, they can develop something and it'll never happen again. Why do you think a lot of stuff you got to keep going and getting your prescription filled? It's to give you temporary relief, just enough so you can come back. That's exactly what politics do. They give you just enough feel good to keep you coming back. But they don't cure anything. They don't heal anything. They just give you temporary relief. Politics is basically Advil. Let's go.
Grievances that we'd long thought that Trump had learned were not winners politically. And there they all were, talking about how he didn't lose the election and all that. I mean, So my sense is that she came out of this in pretty good shape. But for tonight, at least, this was pretty much her night.
You're saying she had a good night.
I'm saying she certainly did.
This what has to be thought of by supporters of Donald Trump and people in that campaign as a disappointment. I got reaction from Republican friends. The two common things were train wreck and he needs this to end. She conveyed the calm. She conveyed a preparation. She was tenacious on Russia. She had clarity about the future of the country. He was a little too gloomy, I thought. And when asked, I saw around the table, I've never heard Donald Trump not be definitive about a set of plans. He said, I have concepts of a plan. Here we are, 56 days from an election. You've been president before. He's got to recover from this.
This was
rough. This was pretty intense at times. She started off shaky. She regained her footing. You know, you watch this thing, if you're a Democrat, you're like, oh, she did a great job. If you're a Republican, you look at this and you're like, that's Donald Trump. He had some moments where you were like, oh my God, where are we going with this?
But he missed more opportunities. And he took all the bait and none of the opportunities. She pivoted better.
Donald Trump missed a few opportunities? Absolutely.
Tonight, she won.
What's crazy is for Donald Trump's talking point the last few weeks is Kamala Harris don't have no policies. Kamala Harris don't have no plan. He even brought it up in the beginning of the debate. She don't have no plan. Just look up on her website. She just put it up a few hours ago. Her plans are just Biden, but she just changed a few words. But then when you're asked about a plan, you say you don't have a plan. You have a concept of a plan.
Yeah.
My God. My God. Listen, I guarantee you if Republicans thought they could pull him, they pull him. And I don't know if they still can. I don't know if they still can.
But that's not democracy.
Who gives a fuck? Why do you keep bringing up this fucking D word? Okay, what is the point? What are you talking about? Who gives a fuck? What are you talking about?
Can't do that.
What are you talking? Who can't do what? I'm not doing anything. I'm
just
just an
enjoying
American citizen. Okay, I'm giving what they're giving us. I have nothing to do with any of it.
But like a couple weeks ago, you're saying, if Trump wins, it's the end of
And
democracy.
democracy.
It is. Listen, if I was Trump and I get back in that motherfucker, I ain't going nowhere either. Okay? I'm pardoning myself. I'm making sure that my family is good. Y'all ain't doing shit to me. And you already know what he's already told you what he's gonna do. He said this week, I'm locking up all my political opponents.
Yeah.
Fire.
All of them.
I like that shit.
Single one of them.
I fuck with that.
Man.
Oh, man.
Listen, man.
I definitely fuck
I think
with that.
he started off good, on message, calm. And
What was the message? I'm really
No,
asking.
but like what you pointed out just now, like how she didn't have policy, it just got up on her website, blaming her for Biden's track record. And then I think he closed out very well. I think it's the only two things he did well.
I agree that he sounded calm, but he didn't sound confident. That's why I disagree.
But at least
he sounded shaky. It was almost like one of those things where you ever been arguing with somebody and you know the person has a tendency to go off, so you're just trying to be easy because you don't either want to cause them to blow up, you know what I mean? Or cause them to say something to you that's gonna cause you to blow up.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was being very, very safe.
But both of them were. Like she was shaky too.
Yeah, it's that time for me, y'all. So I thank everybody for tuning in. Yeah, it's that time. I just got my call, so I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and get myself going. So I thank you all for watching and tuning in. We're gonna go ahead. I'm still gonna give us a nice little outro. You know how I do. So let me just go ahead and find me a good outro for us. Let's just go with a nice little story time. Let's just go with story time for the outro, right? You know, want to promote more of what it is I found a newfound love in, right? So we're gonna give this nice little short. Hold on, dang it, Jim, that ain't it. So we're gonna give this nice little short story. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. This right here is entitled "A Ways Away Ago." Respect to you all.
Where you want to go?
I am going home.